takes a long time.
Hey, Omega.
Yes, Gunner.
Right before we went live, Yanker was talking about his dog.
Is this some kind of euphemism?
That may be where this joke is leading. So, I mean, I don't have dogs anymore. I'm a cat guy right now. But man.
Did I start the show?
Hold on. Well, maybe, I was gonna make an AJ joke here and call her a bitch, but just start the show.
Oh, goodness gracious. It's your show. You guys do the opener.
We're the best technical producer, by the way, because I'm supposed to play the theme song.
I told you last week.
Enough!
Hey everybody, welcome to You Get Serious. This is Gunner. This is number 82, I believe.
82.
82. This week I'm joined by Omega BR.
Send your complaints to Gunner, care of Wooo Get Serious, 34, New York, New York.
You can give the zip code 10012. This week we are joined by our technical producer, Mr. Yankin BDS.
Heyo.
And we are joined from Rational Wrestling Review. This is Alice.
If it makes it any easier, just say RWR. Do you mind if I throw in with a really quick, big story?
Sure.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Mr. Ric Flair. The Charlotte Observer is reporting that an order for arrest has been issued for Ric Flair. Flair was ordered to pay $4,000 a month in spousal support to his fourth ex-wife, Jacqueline Beams, who ironically has a misdemeanor charge of harassment against Flair's current girlfriend filed against her. Earlier this month, a contempt charge was filed against Flair, who was more than $32,000 in arrears in spousal support payments. The order for arrest was issued on July 3rd, but Flair can avoid jail time if he pays $32,352.51, and that is care of PWInsider.com.
You didn't bust out the breaking news sound.
I don't make a breaking news sound.
No, I was talking to Gunner. He's got one on his soundboard.
Gunner's got the soundboard that plays out of Spreaker.
I suspect he's looking for it right now.
But any comments on Ric Flair yet again being in legal trouble?
Well, this is not at all surprising. This is about as surprising as putting cake batter in the oven and a cake coming out. This is just fully expected. The guy is not good with money at all.
Does anybody think he has the $32,000 to pay, or do you think this will be one of those he gets bailed out by certain friends situations?
There's no way he has $32,000. I'm sure he spent $32,000 already on sequined robes and candy and licorice and hookers and blow.
I guess it's time to sell all that TNA stock you got. You know, that'll pay the taxi ride from the jail.
If he's lucky, he has WWE stock.
Well, that'll pay for the, that might pay for the bribe to the guard.
Goodness gracious. I guess that's pretty much all you can say. This is totally unexpected and very, very typical Ric Flair. And when you get to that kind of point with a fella, you just kind of hang your head and just shake. Just shake. Oh, Rick. It's cute behavior when you're 30. Yeah, fuck, it's not even cute and clever when you're 30, but when you're in your 60s, it's just tragic.
Speaking of things that are just tragic, WWE opened the new Performance Center on Thursday, showing off the 12,000 square foot training room with 7 rings, including a show ring with stage fighting. On center, a 5,500 square foot conditioning room, broadcast capabilities, and a private studio that talent can operate with iPad interface. The center cost a merely $2.3 million overall, and includes many HD cameras throughout that can record anything live and stream it straight to the WWE headquarters in Stamford. So what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is NXT Big Brother.
I can't help but think that this must have been something that they had been planning for the network. This has that feeling to it, and I can imagine that if they can't get that going, which obviously they can't, it's obviously a pipe dream, we'll be seeing more horrible things somewhere like E! Or USA, anywhere that they can slip in new product, and possibly on the web. I mean, maybe this is where they can record some of their YouTube shows. Not a terrible idea when you think about it. And I did notice that when you read it, you said it was a show ring with stage fighting, and I really hope there's some stage fighting.
That would be interesting. But the thing that I'm really looking forward to is having... This place is great. I really commend them for actually, bunkering down and coming up with this idea for a giant developmental center that will actually, feed people into the machine, as opposed to, just pulling them out of some, spare indie that they're throwing their name over and paying for, essentially. If I was a professional wrestler at this point, if I was 18 and I was like, I'm going to get into professional wrestling, this is where I'd want to end up, because this is like the mecca right now of what professional wrestling could be and should be for training wise. I mean, from the very limited video package that we saw, the facility itself looks amazing. Now they just need them at the 4 corners of the United States, one in the UK, one in Australia, and one somewhere in the East, in Japan, perhaps. Maybe Mexico, too.
Probably to a lesser extent, but yeah, I can definitely see that eventually. And yes, you're right, this is actually going to be a magnet for indie guys who may not have wanted to join WWE before, but, when they look at the facilities available, I mean, just the Sports Medicine Center alone has to have tremendous appeal, that they know that this is a place where you can go and get in the shape that you need to be in to do this. I mean, if nothing else, you could take the opportunity to go and get into better ring shape and then take that back into the indies, if they don't take you on, full time. There's tremendous potential. This actually, I think, was pretty smart, and when you look at it, $2.3 million, that's less than they spent on tout. This is a drop in the bucket, really. But not a huge loss.
Tout, that really worked out for him, didn't it?
Exactly. But this is actually something physical and tangible that's useful. I mean, and this is a place where they can send the NXT guys. This is where they can send current folks. What a great idea, frankly.
Speaking of good ideas, Deadspin has covered an anonymous Reddit user leaking results of WWE pay-per-views minutes before they go on air, which, believe it or not, have been accurate 100% for every show since they began at Elimination Chamber. Figure 4 claims that WWE is likely dealing with numerous leaks at the top of their ranks, and stopping all of them would be next to impossible, but they did release a statement saying they will monitor the posts in advance of the next show. And it's true, they have been accurate. I've looked them up, and I'm not sure everybody really believed it until he predicted that Randy Orton would win the Raw Money in the Bank, which of course he did.
I think this is interesting because I believe, that the guy has been talked to, and he said that I guess he's doing this just to show them the problems that they have, just to show them that they have leaks in creative. And that's, I guess fine. I don't know how much WWE cares. I mean, I guess the news says that they're quite upset about this and they're doing everything that they can, but there's a limited amount that you can do. I mean, if everybody's got a cell phone, cell phone, yeah. So everybody's got one of those Motorola bricks from 1996. If everybody's walking around with a smartphone, an iPhone, or whatever, how on earth can you keep this stuff private? People gossip, and they love to gossip. And given the fact that people, I do not understand this, gamble on WWE wrestling, this is the kind of information that people might genuinely be able to legitimately use, and has probably netted some folks some money.
Maybe a little bit. I know that because of the nature of the predictions and everything, the fact that it's predetermined, that the betting, usually you can't really win more than like $50, or you can bet more than $50, something like that.
You could buy dinner.
Yeah. Although, the thing of it is, as far as not caring, if he does it literally right before the show starts, then, as far as getting bets in, or even just buying the show, because really, who's going to buy the show at the very last second, if they haven't already decided to?
I actually talked to a couple people who bought the show after they watched the pre-show. So,
oh, really?
It does happen. They were they must have been really disappointed, I have to say. But we'll get into that later.
Well, I guess I wonder, if you don't actually go and seek these spoilers, because he only posts them on Reddit.
Which I gotta say, I never read. I'm that person. I'm like, Reddit? What? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
question. So
question.
if you don't really seek them out.
If they're going to try and do something to stop people from posting results, what are the chances that Reddit will even cooperate with them on that sort of thing?
It's a specific user on Reddit. Dolphin is a dolphin with some sort of like
1925.
There you go. This particular user has claimed that basically in the article it says that this user isn't an employee of the WWE, but knows a person who knows the results of every single thing. And basically, from what I understand, if you're looking, in the back, and I mean, we've seen this a couple times on WWE and WWF TV, specifically an episode of Sunday Night Heat that I'm thinking of, where the humorous segment was that there was a wipe-off board, and the card for the evening was written on the wipe-off board, and Joey Gass and all of those, and P-Gas, and Joey Abs, and all of those guys would rub each other's names out to face Rikishi or something like that, and that's basically, how the card is set up, so that there's one particular space where everybody can see where everybody else is. Now, that's how it used to be at one point or another. So, I mean, even if you're walking by that, you'll see it, and then you'll understand what's going on. And if you find out the results of that, via the script or via something else, it's totally easy to leak it, to text a friend and say, this is what's going to happen.
Well, I'd like to thank the robot for that last comment. That was awesome, man.
Robots.
We're very futuristic on this show, too.
So WWE officials are getting close to picking a location for WrestleMania 32 and 33, meeting with officials at Cowboys Stadium this week, which is an enormous place. I used to live in Dallas myself. Another frontrunner is the new Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, which opens for the San Francisco 49ers next year and hosts the 2016 Super Bowl. ABC6 in Philadelphia got a statement that the city is one of the many that has expressed interest. Meanwhile, WWE may be looking to open up a restaurant to go along with the planned Physical Hall of Fame, and an executive brought up Las Vegas as a potential location for it. I gotta say, Vegas, what a good idea. At least that's a place people are already vacationing.
The old Nitro Grill in Vegas.
WWE New York.
AKA the world.
Remember, people in Las Vegas will go anywhere. There are some... I used to live in Las Vegas. There are some absolutely ridiculous places that stay open for decades just because people on vacation will take a chance at anything. And there's certainly a possibility. I mean, I read the little blurb of an article that was available with Triple H today, where he was talking about what he wanted the physical Hall of Fame to be, where, you could somehow physically interact with a 3D Andre the Giant, and that sounded very Vegas to me.
Wax museum or animatronic?
It has to be animatronic.
I say hologram.
The Natural History Museum in Vegas had animatronic dinosaurs. It's very important for me to mention that. And a flashing neon sign outside. Not kidding. Not kidding.
I am not only okay with this, I am going to start a letter writing campaign in order to get this done.
Letter writing campaign, huh, Yankum? What are we, in 1995?
Someone get out your parchment and your quill.
Indeed.
I think, I'm telling you, you get in the ring, and then the holographic Andre is in front of you, and he's running toward you to clothesline you, and freak people out.
He might not be running. Ambling. He's ambling towards you.
Oh, okay.
So, in terms of the rest of this little news chunk, does it really matter to anybody where WrestleMania happens as long as it happens? I mean, unless you are in one of those specific towns, you're in Santa Clara, you're in Dallas, you're in Philadelphia, I don't give a shit.
Well, it kind of does, because, I mean, a lot of watching wrestling on TV is the crowd. They can make or break a show with their actions, and I mean, I've seen some really what would be otherwise really good shows be absolutely just devastated by a crowd sitting on their hands the whole time and not making.
Does that really happen with WrestleMania, though?
I was going to throw that in, because WrestleMania attracts an entirely different crowd, a lot of not
international crowd.
Yeah, exactly. You actually get some of the best crowds because you get a lot of Brits. Let's be honest, the British are amazing for crowds.
To me, I think it's a matter of distance, because for example, if it's in New York, which is, right near all these different kind of hubs like Philadelphia and New Jersey and all this and that. Plus, it's right across the pond from Britain. Whereas if they have to fly to California, then it might, skew plans a little bit. Plus, the people on the East Coast flying to the West Coast, or vice versa.
There's also the issue of spoilers. WrestleMania might start at a certain time, for example. If it's on the East Coast, it might start at a certain time, but it won't start at, it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if, if it starts at 4 p.m. Pacific, there might be some sort of, how can I put this? This is why they're not going over to England, for example. They would have to tape it in England because nobody's going to stay up till midnight to have an East Coast pay-per-view, basically.
In terms of domestically, East Coast, West Coast versus East Coast, I don't think that's a huge problem. We're talking about an event that always happens on a Sunday. It really is the one event of the year that all WWE fans try to take the day off for. I don't think spoilers are nearly so much of a worry with something like that as they are for something like Raw. People are going to be up for this one, without doubt, whether it be 7 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or 1 or 2 in the morning in the UK. And I guess we can move on to the next segment. TMZ reports that Randy Orton has divorced from his wife Samantha. After the pair separated in 2012, and she filed in March, citing it as irrevocable. Oh golly, I need to learn how to read English and stuff. Irretrievably broken. Orton will keep 100% of all rights and interests in his WWE contract, which according to documents nets him $291,666 a month. Though this is likely inaccurate since his guarantee is nowhere near that large. He will keep his cars, jewelry, and gun collection and have visitation rights while paying $4,500 a month, which actually seems modest, in child support. Well, at least he gets to keep his guns.
Actually, she got the jewelry. That is incorrect. She got the jewelry. He got the gun collection. He got the gun collection.
Both had jewelry, and they got to keep their respective jewelry.
Maybe they get to keep their respective cars, too.
She got the bank account. He got the gun collection. So,
does anybody else imagine him in an empty house holding a gun now? Because I do. With a lot of jewelry.
Well, he's got to catch that kid who rang his doorbell.
Yeah, Get off my lawn.
Nice callback.
I guess there's not much to be said about this particular story. I was kind of surprised, but then didn't care. Anybody else?
Well, it's kind of funny that he gets divorced right before winning Money in the Bank, as did John Cena this time last year.
Maybe that's a heads up to anybody else on the roster. You know, it's like if you want Money in the Bank, you want to win, get divorced.
Maybe CM Punk will get divorced. Oh, wait.
You suppose he'd ever get married? Because obviously he
Yes, he would. He would get married, but it would be after he's done wrestling.
Do you think it'd be Lita?
Maybe. It'd be some ring rat.
Poor Lita.
I know Triple H will get divorced, and he'll win Money in the Bank.
Oh God, that would be bad.
As if he would take such a risk.
Speaking of taking a risk, the Ultimate Warrior is confirmed to appear in WWE 2K14 as a part of a deal with 2K Sports, and not with the WWE. Although Vince McMahon must approve all selections. TNA announced that Tara has been released from her contract, and ROH announced that Mark Briscoe is the final entrant in the World Title Tournament. For years, WWE had tried to land Doritos as a sponsor and have teamed up with them for a national Dollar General promotion, as well as seeking fan correspondents to interview stars for the WWE app. Rob Van Dam needed 12 staples, CM Punk needed 13 after Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes needed 5 stitches to close a cut above his eye, and Christian suffered chipped teeth after a punch from Sheamus, which was so hard he was thought to have possibly have a concussion.
And if anybody saw that picture of Sheamus on Twitter, he had a really fucked up thigh from the same match.
That ladder spot, man, that was fucking ridiculous.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one where CM Punk was pulling down his trunks.
Oh no. That wouldn't be his thigh, wouldn't it? Oh my. Did anybody watch the Ultimate Warrior commercial for this game?
I did. It is, to quote Michael Cole, who is an awful, awful person, vintage Warrior. It's exactly what I would expect a Warrior promo to be.
The promo was excellent, but it was so obvious that he was limping as he was walking. I think it would have been a lot better if they hadn't had him walking through these offices. That definitely showed to me. It was also really interesting to see him in full face paint with short gray hair. It was odd.
I
almost would have.
I didn't even notice that there was a limp.
Yeah, you can see kind of a bob in his shoulders as he walks. Watch it again. Check it out. I actually think I would have been happier if he had done maybe a voiceover for an animated character. Maybe if they used his character in the game as the animation and made it sort of a cartoon in the commercial. I think that would have been, at least physically, a little bit more impressive to sort of see him as he was, but cutting a new promo.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Omega.
Well, I think a lot of modern fans, don't really know Warrior, other than, all the kind of, other than the DVD and the fact that the whole queer and don't make the world go round thing and all this and that. So you kind of have to wonder if this will lead to something more, because again, Vince has to approve all of the characters in the game. And, San Martino's in the Hall of Fame now, so, anything can really happen. As far as, rebuilding their teams.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Yeah, that was
Hulk Hogan.
But I guess think about it this way. For the last game, Jacob Cass was voiced by Austin Aries, and he certainly hasn't been pulled into the WWE. So, I guess these things can really be kept as two separate entities.
Well, they certainly have no problem taking advantage of people without really, making it further. But
for me, the actual interesting bit of news in this was that Tara was released. Does that mean I could have Victoria back? God, I'd love to have Victoria back.
Have Victoria back, come back on the Legends deal.
Why not? She still looks fantastic. She needs to go a little easier on the Botox, but her body is tremendous, and she can still work.
Promote the restaurant.
Promote the restaurant and promote her business or whatever it is. Doesn't she have a chop shop or something?
I know.
I think she used to, but then it burned down.
Oh, yeah.
She's the kind of girl I'd like to see have a match with, like, Natalya, because I think they could actually have a match, as opposed to whatever it is that Natalya has to do with another.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the Battle of the Black Widow.
God, that would look so weak. I think AJ really would look like a child standing next to Tara, who is just fucking built.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it'd be like... Have you ever seen that image macro of Chris Jericho carrying the World Heavyweight title with a suit on, and then the plus sign, and then the Super Mario Brother mushroom equals Jack Swagger in the suit with his World Heavyweight Championship?
Yes.
Yes, same difference here. Replace AJ with Jericho and Tara with Jack Swagger. Yet somehow, as they get bigger, their talent gets smaller.
Unfortunate. So let's talk Money in the Bank. I mean, that's after all probably what we're all here for. The pre-show was the WWE Tag Team Champions Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns over the
Hold on a second.
Oh,
Let's introduce this properly.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
All right, everyone. It's time for the 15-minute time limit. If I can ever find the button.
I was about to say,
it wouldn't be the second segment if we had to waste 20 seconds.
Anyway, it was that same tag match. So.
Yeah, that's what started the pre-show off. I did not see this match.
I did. This was a pretty good match. They went about 20 minutes. You kind of knew the way it was going, but it was nice to, and I talked about this on my show actually twice, because I did two. I did one for Money in the Bank and one for Raw last night. It's really heartening to me and exciting for me to see an actual tag team doing tag matches, not just two guys that were thrown together because why not, which is what I see when I look at, say, Swagger and Cesaro, who individually, well, at least Cesaro is quite talented, but together are nothing. But the Usos actually have, a full gimmick going, and I enjoy it. The person in me that appreciates classic tag teams appreciates what they do. So there.
Yankum, what do you think?
You know how you guys get to be depressing every week, and I'm always like, you guys are depressing. Well, Sunday was what would have been my little brother's 23rd birthday, so I did not watch it because I went to the cemetery and put flowers on his grave and stuff, so yeah.
A much better time spent, I would say, and sorry for your loss.
Oh, that's funny, because I did watch Money in the Bank, and I felt like I was at a cemetery, too.
Now, before we got to,
hold on. Well, that's the booking committee that you're talking about there, not the matches themselves, because everybody on this card, maybe Ryback and Trish Jericho, worked their asses off.
Well, that's true. I felt like overall the show was a bit above average, but they did a lot of screwy stuff. Talking about the pre-show match, yeah, I like the fact, Alice brought up the fact that tag teams doing tag matches, and part of that is a strong dynamic, like the fact that they went for the Super Samoan drop and things like that, Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff they don't always get to do necessarily. I thought this might be the best pre-show match that they've done so far.
Well, to be honest, this was the reason I watched the pre-show. I couldn't think of another reason, frankly. Looking at the previous pre-shows, I actually wondered maybe they put this in where they did to get people to watch, and mission accomplished because I watched it. But it certainly wasn't the match of the night for me. The match of the night for me was the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank match.
Absolutely. This match, everybody was hungry. Mm-hmm. It felt like those TLC matches back in the 2000s with the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian, where everybody's hungry, they're trying to be spot monkeys and, get the fuck over. I really enjoyed the story that was told here. Cody is over as fuck. I was expecting the Dean Ambrose win after the Shield came out, but when the Usos came out to interfere, you could still tell they're kind of great as goose shit, but that happens from time to time.
But in the end, we ended up with Damien Sandow winning the case, and I thought going into this, I thought Ambrose was going to win. When Sandow won, I said, "Oh, I'm all right. I'm okay with that." I use him as a mascot for my show, and given how it went down, him doing the double cross on Cody Rhodes, hell yeah. Because that's a feud I'd like to see for a little while. Obviously, he doesn't have to cash in that case right away, so we can enjoy some probably really exciting and fun Cody and Damien Sandow matches. I'm pleased. I think this set up a lot of good shit. I'm really excited.
Cody and Sandow, do you think that the feud will include the case, or no? Because I think it will.
It certainly could. I mean, that does tend to happen from time to time, at least the suggestion that, he could be putting up the case in this match. So, it heightens interest, and above and beyond the fact that it's already interesting to me. These are two guys I thoroughly enjoy. These are two, to me, obviously, Cody Rhodes has been around for a few years. Damien Sandow's still relatively new for me. I'm just enjoying watching new stars happen. I think the mid-card right now is the most exciting thing in WWE.
I was a little bit surprised that Sandow was the one picked. I would have thought, not that he's a new guy or anything, you might remember him as Idol Stevens way back in the OVW days. But, I don't know, he seems like an odd choice just because he seems like the kind of character who's kind of perennially in the, that's it. Who's kind of that, in the mid-card, not one that really breaks through as much. I would have thought it would have been Rhodes out of the two because, like I said last week, Rhodes has kind of shown a range as far as his character and teaming with different people and things like that.
Just real quickly, I just want to say, I think what's happening here is that I think he's liked backstage. I think Triple H likes him. He's been used so many times for segments with DX. There's obviously something going on there. I think they're really high on him. In the next segment, we had Curtis Axel over The Miz, and I don't care. So feel free to talk about it.
I don't really care either, to be quite honest with you. Axel's doing okay.
I think he's milquetoast, he's bland, he's boring, and if The Miz was sucked into a black hole tomorrow, I wouldn't care.
Well, this match was interesting for Miz stealing Eddie Guerrero shit. Pretty much. Whose
shit doesn't he steal, though? Let's be honest, he has no actual unique character, so he uses everybody else's moves.
Well, that's because they took his unique character away and made him be the regular old general, same as every other face in the WWE.
Nickelodeon correspondent.
I defy you both to explain to me what his actual character was besides being a whiny reality television show guy.
Why do you need more than that?
Because I have standards.
The Miz was, before, he was like,
yeah, exactly. So there was a Divas match.
Well, give me a minute.
No. I don't think it's
I'll think about it during the Divas match.
Yeah, there was a Divas match, AJ over Caitlyn. I didn't care. I mean, this is the this is the...
It was better than last time.
It was better, and the Black Widow finish was kind of a good time, but all in all, in terms of, I guess, spending our time talking about things on this card, I don't know how worth it is.
Well, the thing of it is, this is probably still one of the better Divas matches you're going to get in the last, 5 years.
That's true, and that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's kind of like these Divas segments on Raw. They're much better than they have been, but it's kind of like saying, I had a quarter
I'm constipated. I did have diarrhea, but now I'm constipated, so it's a little better.
Yeah,
essentially. Ryback over Chris Jericho. This was a match to me that didn't have a lot of meaning. This, I think, could have easily been moved to the pre-show, and I could have had the tag match here.
Especially because of the finish.
Yeah, and it told no story. There was no story to be told.
It was terrible. It was an afterthought. Chris Jericho wanted to work with Ryback, but apparently that just kind of fell through, and he phoned it in for the last little bit. He's gonna go leave now and take some Fozzy time to himself. Enjoy that. But Ryback is really the lost character here. He's got no direction. He's got no one to feud with. He's got no one to actually do something with. I just hope he feud RVD.
Wait a minute though. He needs to have one person to do something with, and that's Vicky.
Besides Vicky,
if they're going to do that,
they should have done that this week.
Yeah, immediately. Because I'm pretty much completely over Ryback, and I'm sure everyone else is too, unless they do something.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that we're over. They're going to do it anyway.
He needs Vicky to actually get over at this point as a heel. Otherwise, he can disappear for a while, come back as a babyface sometime down the line. Let's put it this way, but he could feud with RVD over the singlet.
I don't need to see two slowpokes in the ring at the same time. I just don't need it. So, shall we move on to the next match?
Yeah,
I was just going to say, I've seen feuds over dumber stuff than singlets.
Can you pick anyone?
Admittedly untrue, but wait. So ADR over Ziggler, and of course, I think the way this ended was the big deal here. I don't want to see these people wrestle anymore, ever. I do not want to see ADR wrestle Dolph Ziggler ever again. That's kind of where I'm at this point. I'm so over the heavyweight championship.
Does Del Rio really gel well with anybody?
Not at this point.
The only person I've seen him have genuinely interesting matches with is Sin Cara, and I think that doesn't need explaining. Although they don't like each other, but they certainly do work well together.
This was kind of the fundamental problem of this show. This show was really used to build SummerSlam, what with the DQ and even throughout the show, kind of like the Shield attacking during the Money in the Bank, and then the Usos attacking them, and things like that. The problem is, and they do this a lot, where they kind of demean the importance of one thing to try and build the importance of another. And that's kind of what they did with this show, trying to build up SummerSlam.
Blah.
I was just surprised that, let's put it this way, the spot at the end didn't make any sense. AJ coming in and doing what she did, it was completely obvious, it looked like shit, I was unhappy with that. If they actually had done it right, where AJ had done it right and looked well about it, I would have been okay with it to an extent, but at the same time, it's like the referee's right there, he's looking right at the match, he's looking right at you. Why would you do that if
you gotta remember,
bad logic.
Bitches be crazy, right? Bitches be crazy.
But that's not an explanation enough for this.
Yeah, but bitches be crazy. That's her whole deal now. They brought her right back into full crazy mode, so she's not doing things rationally. If I was to think about this rationally, that's what I would have to assume was happening. But really, in our limited time, I imagine we should probably get to the last two matches. What say you guys over the Cena over Henry match?
Nope.
That's what I was saying.
Way better than expected.
Yeah, a little better than expected, but,
But the ending?
The ending was completely expected.
The ending was expected, but the way... having him tap out to the STF broke my heart. It just broke my fucking heart. I thought this was really unfortunate. There were a number of different ways they could have had this match end with Cena going over. Having him weakly tap out to the STF I thought was embarrassing.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, it honestly is expected at this point, because, he could have done the whole AA, oh my god, I can't believe he's picking him up thing, but,
And they did. It's worth saying that spot did happen.
And he did, and they both kicked out of their finishers, and as soon as they both kicked out of the finishers, I was like, well, STF time. Sorry, Henry. Who's got the submission here? Oh, wait.
And then we had the final match of the night, the WWE title Money in the Bank. Now, this is when I discovered I had the flu, so I spent most of this match hugging the bowl. I found out that I didn't miss much. So feel free and discuss.
This, I'm not going to say it's a bad match or anything, but as far as Money in the Banks go, it was pretty average.
It was quite average. It was better than the Cena one last year, but this is it was hot. It was great. Everybody was popping. The best part about it wasn't the actual capture of the briefcase, but it was instead Paul Heyman turning on CM Punk and busting open hard way. And let me tell you something. This is the pay-per-view of busting open hard way because everybody did color. Everybody.
Unintentionally so, I think. I mean, we're talking about giant cuts on the tops of their heads. Pretty vicious. And I think it's a little unfortunate that the story of this match is Punk and Heyman rather than the actual winner of the case. And frankly, does Randy Orton need to be Mr. Money in the Bank? I sure as hell don't think so.
I think this might have been one of them.
Yes, he does, actually, because of two reasons. Number one, nobody else in that match really needed it, per se, to actually get into WWE, that realistically was going to get it. I mean, Christian and Sheamus obviously aren't going to be, competing for the WWE Championship except for filler in Elimination Chambers right now. I do expect, however, to see basically, to have Randy Orton. Okay, so SummerSlam happens. Daniel Bryan defeats John Cena. 45 seconds later, RKO out of nowhere, game over.
Pretty much, but I think you could have easily had Orton in the title contention without putting the case on him. Easily, people would buy it. He's that level of star.
All right, so that's it. That's it. That was a buzzer. God damn it.
I didn't get to talk.
I know you didn't get to talk because that was the buzzer. That was the 15-minute time limit. That's why we only have 15 minutes. I'm going to book a straight-up tag team match, basically. Alright, so that's it for this segment. After the break, we're going to have the Kayfabe Issues, hosted by Yankum. But first, we're going to have a song by Super Blizzard, and superblizzard.com. Follow him on Twitter at superblizzard. You can listen to all of his crazy wrestling music there. We're going to lead you off of this segment, going from 1 to 2, with Teddy.